Dear students, your mind is like a magnet. If you think of blessings, you attract blessings. And if you think of problems, you attract problems. Always cultivate good thoughts and always remain positive and optimistic. Good evening, one and all gathered here for the Day-1 Alumni Talk organized by Department of CSE, King's College of Engineering. Now, I welcome our HOD ma'am, Dr. S.M. Uma, to deliver the welcome address and speak few words about our resource person, Mr. Suresh, Senior Associate, CTS Chennai. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to all. On behalf of CSE, prestigious King's College of Engineering, I welcome all the students participating in this online webinar series. First of all, I would like to thank each one of you for joining this alumni webinar series on this day. Last year, the theme of this alumni webinar series was based on this global problem, which it is help the students in inducing a thought for the problem which the world is sustaining. Before we carry on with the event, I proud to welcome and express our sincere thanks to management and beloved Secretary Sir, Dr. Rajendran Sir, for giving permission to felicitate this program. Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to welcome our principal ma'am, Dr. Arpuda Vijay Selvi. She is working towards connecting young minds to share towards success and achieve. On behalf of CSE and King's College of Engineering, I express sincere thanks for accepting our offer as a chief guest, resource person, alumni, and my dear student, Mr. Suresh, Senior Associate, Cognizant Technology Solution, Senior Associate, Chennai. I know that it takes a lot to take some time out of your busy schedule and come over. But I believe that the experience of this evening, which you will take home, will be worth the time you have spared. Welcome, Suresh.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
I think as time progresses, the college become the best experience for you. Now, I proud to introduce our alumni and my dear student. So education, he completed this BE degree from our college in batch 2006 to 2009. And he completed this ME Computer Science Engineering from Government College of Technology, the batch 2010 to 12. In IT experience, he worked as a system engineer in Tata Consultancy Services, Chennai from 2012 to 2015. And he worked as a technology analyst in Infosys Limited, Chennai from 2015 to 2016. He worked as a lead engineer in HCL Technology Limited, Chennai from 2016 to 2018. Now, he working as a senior associate project in Cognizant Technology Solution, Chennai onwards. Then working experience, 8 years of experience in IT industry in front-end development. Experience in developing, integrating, implementing web pages with the HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, ES6, React.js, Redux, and tools such as Eclipse, Tortoise, GitLab, etc. Writing unit test cases for the application using JUnit and Jasmine. Knowledge of mobile web IP development and response layout using this Bootstrap. He is gaining more knowledge about technical skill like operating system, Windows 8, 7, XP, language Core Java, technologies HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, ES6, Angular, and Python. Framework React.js, Redux, Sagas, Hooks, React Native. Tools like Eclipse, GitLab, etc. She's done more so few project like a broadband portal application, relationship master broad rich, institutional global investor passport application, adaptive interconnection framework, chat API integration and configuration dashboard, consumer leading auto loan application, loan rate API, workflow application, Keystar applications, agent tablet, and more. He done more projects. Today, we have gathered here to discuss about very important topic, React.js. So this section focus on key concept related to React.js. So this can help provide the solution to the problem faced by cities today. In future, belongs to this React.js and will bring tremendous changes in our lifestyle. I hope you have engaging and enriching this session here. Once again, I heartily welcome all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you for your introduction and your welcome address, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Without wasting much of our time, let me hand over the session to our resource person, Suresh. React.js is a leading and booming topic. So, mostly this is unaware to our students. I request all the students to make use of this webinar. Welcome, Suresh. You can I'm handovering the session to our resource person. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for. Are you able to see my screen, right?
Yeah, it's visible, pa.
Yeah. So basically, React is the most advanced JavaScript. So previously we are using Angular, HTJS, so many frameworks came across through the JavaScript based on the basically from the development of from the ECMAScript JavaScript. So basically, this is React.js, one of the most trending JavaScript framework in the IT industry. So you have a if you shine more knowledge in React.js, you will be betterment in future. So here today, these are the list of topics I have to cover. So I will intro to what is React.js and what are the main features. And there is one another called major things why we go for React is there is virtual DOM. So we have to understand the main concept of virtual DOM and JSX. Similarly, JS we have a JSX syntax we have followed in React.js and your terminology and your and if for programming related. So I'm just using some set of programs. So hope if I have meanwhile I have a time, so I will share your demo on the application. I will showcase your example. So mainly these type of components like stateless, how the components will be rendered and how you can utilize the life cycle. So how you can handle your events. So how we can validate your React component properties. So those are the way of binding which we are one way, what is two way binding, one way binding. So these are all going to be covered today. So next. So basically, why we utilize the React.js? We go for React.js because basically this is, you know that right? DOM is nothing but your document object model. If you have, for example, if you go to web page, if you press F12 and see the see the structure, the code which you have. These and all, each and every HTML code that is consists of nodes like this. So here HTML, which is a text, we have each and everything have a node, which is DOM is representation of each and every node within the form of like this tree structure. So this is the HTML DOM is which provides your interface to, you can traverse the node and you can modify it accordingly. You can edit it, delete it, and everything. So you can do this mechanism like by using the get element by ID or remove child. These and all go with help in the React.js. Sorry, in previous framework like JavaScript or anything. So we, whenever we want to change your dynamically content of web page or anything else, we have to certain level of things to do, like to modify your DOM. So in order to do this, we usually use the JavaScript language to work with the DOM. So here, what is the issue? Main focus in, if you are go with the JavaScript with the DOM means the, it's a tree structure and you can traverse easily, but you can't quickly access the particular node. For example, if you have thousandth node, you have to search it means you can search from the beginning to what one first node to till triple nine node. So you have to traverse that, and after that only you find that and do it update or anything else. We go with that. So in nowadays we have much number of pages and the number of nodes in each and every pages, right? So in order to do this, we go with the we are using single page application also. So in order to do the manipulation, right, accordingly, so we go with the React.js to do this. So here that is the one thing. For example, if you want to click that or a submit button or anything, you want to handle the event handling for the particular button click. So in order to do this update on click of this button, you have to update the API call or anything else. If you go with this approach, so what happened? I mean, previous JavaScript framework like Reactjs or JavaScript also. So it is, we have a hard to manage and it is also inefficient. That's why we go with the React.js. That's why we go. React is the solution to helping hand. So first thing is the problem one which you are DOM travels, right. So that is declarativeness. Instead of we are low level techniques like Java, normal JavaScript to traverse your DOM and those things, we go with, we can do like this in the React. We can do like this for travel to find the particular node. Okay, that will be easy for this. Even though we have an option in JavaScript get element by ID, but even though we are doing, what happens, it will traverse from the start node to end and search it accordingly. But here that is not at all possible if you find your particular node. This and all major advantage in your React, and also the performance wise it will be good. That's why we go with the virtual DOM come into your action in your React.js. So here here React is a JavaScript library which is only developed by Facebook and Instagram. So Facebook, Instagram, for example, in Facebook, for example, one person, for example, if you post some photos or videos or anything else, if you get a like and immediately it's respond, right, notification, those and are basically respond by, for example, one person like, and after that another person will give a like means it will be counted again, right? So immediately responded, that will be developed, the Facebook is developed by based on the React.js framework. So basically here we call it as the not MEC pattern. Here V is the matter. So like V is the view is the main purpose. So React was for example, if you have a to build your large application, you have to maintain your multiple number of data. For example, changes occurring. For example, in, I'm saying that in banking application or anything else, you have maintained more number of customer details and do more number of details, right? So in order to do this, we can go with the React.js. So that is the simple solution here, and the performance wise it will be good. So many people actually, most of the sites move to React and Flipkart and everything. It moved to React actually. So previously they are using some other framework like Vue and something like that. It's a one thing is main advantage. It's very simple. One thing, it will automatically manage your UI updates whenever the data changes accordingly. So declarative is nothing but when the data is changed, its React is conceptually hit the refresh button. I mean, you can't even see it's like a virtually refresh it, and the update the particular changed part alone only updated in the particular node. So that will I will explain when I go with understand explain virtual DOM. So here it is composable component. Like you can build your composable components. It's nothing but you can split all the components into multiple number of pages. For example, in our college website, so we need for particular I mean department, right? Department is a major that main component. So the department component we have multiple number of courses. So we have separate courses and course details, right? So those course detail is one another component, and fee structure is one another component. So we can maintain it accordingly and encapsulate it. And we call it as a, this is we call it as a separation of constraint. So you can easily reuse and test it. So main feature is I already told you, right? The performance wise, whether it is very well other JavaScripts. Okay, so because we are managing your virtual DOM here in order to do this performance and everything. So it will be, I mean, if it is any update in your DOM or anything else, it's re-render your DOM efficiently without any affecting your performance. I mean, affecting your pages. There is one another called JSX support. JSX is XML-ish, like JSX language, JavaScript XML language. Like the meaning is like that. Here, React can be, we can use it without I mean JSX, and also we can use with JSX also. So mostly we go with without JSX only. Most of the people prefer we go with that. That extension only .jsx. That is one thing. So mostly we are preferring most of the people currently in the industry we are using only without JSX syntax only. So it is very useful to write your markup language for the building your components and maintaining your events and everything. So one data flow is for example in your current MEC pattern like model view controller, right? For different views, we can I mean data which was we can it is very difficult to maintain your data which is in sync, right? So in order to do this is the another way we can go with it. For example, if you I mean if you change the I mean if you have a text box, you have entered something, so you want to display it accordingly the parallelly means. So in order to do this, there is one another way called two-way data flow is one of the possibility to do. So on change of any text box, I mean our input in the text box, so that will be re-rendered in your the child component like it will be displayed with that. So that is the two-way binding we go with that. And one-way data flow is another way is like it's like it support only the flowing your downstream like I mean parent to child. So in order to do, you can access the child to relationship. There is callback mechanism. We can utilize this to do this. So this is the virtual DOM. Virtual DOM is nothing but it's a very I mean you can manipulate your DOM. So whatever the changes happen, if any node update or anything else happen, how it will behave virtual DOM. So I will go with that directly. This is the representation of virtual DOM. So here, see here, this is the node we have already have four set of nodes. I have to update this red colored node. So what happened? It will in virtual DOM we can't see, but in browser it will be the engine, the will browser engine that will generate before render what happens, after render what happens, those changes. Here this changes is this alone. So this changes only, right, those differences. So it will create a mirror image, and I mean this change alone only going to be updated wherever it is. So that is the virtual DOM. We call it as a this is the this is the algorithm format we are here running up. Like we call it as a diffing algorithm. Diffing algorithm is nothing but, so we have a real DOM and you have a virtual DOM. So I mean that before render what happens, after render what happens. Those difference alone only going to be updated directly in the particular tree. Okay, so that is the major challenges in by using the virtual DOM. This is one of the fastest one. You can update your patches and everything, re-render and everything. It will be very easy. So that's why we go with the React.js. So, like, right, and there are two types of event. One is user event and server event. So one event is user event, nothing but if you click, if you scroll or resize, if you double click or anything else, that will be gone under your user events. When your application receive your data or error from a server, that will be server event. You can log your logs and everything, that will be easily here. Here, like when you're handling the event, what happens? So usually, if we update the data in our application or anything else, the state is changed. The state is when your state is, for example, when you are declaring some state, when the state of the data model is changed, that changes is updated the state in your UI. Whatever the changes. Previously, I saw. I tell you, right, the example like text boxes, right? The text boxes, whatever you are entering, the changes that will be reflected in the I mean printed in the child component. Like for example, I am entering the React.js application. Means that will be automatically rendered. That is the way of we can syncing your two different states. Okay, so one way of syncing your application, like that is a two-way binding. That is I'm telling that. The two-way bindings. There are two types of two-way binding. So one is KVO. The KVO is nothing but which is used in previous version of and there is so many frameworks, Ember.js or Knockout or Backbone or iOS. These and all we are go with the KVO approach. Like dirty checking, which is used in Angular for the two-way binding. Here, React will offer your two-way binding by using the virtual DOM. So this is the React terminology. So first React terminology is nothing but there are 5 core types. Okay, this structure is JSX. Okay, most of the people are not using, but this is the basic things we need to know. So that's why I just cover it up. So here React element or React element factory or React node and React component or React component cycle. React element is nothing but you can create your own element. I mean, you can create, for example, here example where is declare as a where root equal to react dot create element of div. So here this will what will render mean it will create a div element. Okay, if you pass it as a p means that paragraph tag will be created automatically in your DOM in your React DOM. So in order to do this, so you can create the React. I mean, whichever the root, right? The whatever the root which you are declare, right? So you have to pass it to React DOM dot render. So React DOM dot render. So here, see React DOM dot render. Which one I have to render the root and where it is in the HTML file document.getElement by ID of that ID is example. Okay, that in that div or anything else, you if you assign it with the id of example, that div element is created under this. It is a virtual representation of DOM, and it is also the React element is light and stateless. Stateless means you don't have maintain a state, right? So that's why we call it as a state, sorry, stateless and immutable. Here, for example, if you have to pass a property like this, for example, you have order list, unorder list, we have set of properties, right? In order to do this, here, for example, here I'm doing like where child equal to react dot create element of li I have created. So I'm passing there is no property, so I'm just passing the null. But li have the text content. Okay, so and again where root equal to react dot create element of ul, the ul have the class name of the object, the class name called my hyphen list, comma the child means it will be ul under this li. Okay, so that's why those and all the root and the child, I mean sorry, the root will be render inside in your react dom dot render root, which is where it is document dot get element id example, the whatever the id which you have example, under this I have created as a ul li tag like this. So if you use the react, this is the not JSX. Here, if you want to use JSX, means the code will be different, like where root equal to UL class name equal to, you can directly give without creating your react dot create element, and react dom dot render of root document dot get element by id of example. This is the thing. This is the JSX syntax. Okay, this is the JSX syntax. Directly you can do it through the HTML content and render it in your DOM. Here, factories, another terminology called factories. React element factory is nothing but it's function, simply a function. It's generate your React element with a particular type. Okay, so if you pass it a type, so it will generate your factory. So whatever we have in JavaScript, we have more number of pattern, right? Factory pattern and those things. So abstract and in Java also we call it as a more number of pattern, right? Design pattern. So same design pattern here. Here function create factory of type. Okay, type return react dot create element bind null type. So it will allow you to create your factory by using the div where div equal to react dot create factory. If I pass it div, what happened? It will create a div. Sorry, it will pass div and react dot create element of that div will be created. And here I'm using, right, div of class name my. So this is the example. So this is ul with the class name. This is the common terminology with the I mean, this also another possibility. You can use react dot dom dot ul or li, something like that. You can use it. This is the convenient shortcut way. React node. React node is nothing but it can be either a your React element or your string or your number. Either it will be a React text. You can have a array of node React node also you can use. Main advantage of using the React component, main thing is React element is a very essential things to create your components. If you want to use React components to create your encapsulator with the embedded state, so we go with the JavaScript class or constructor function like this. We will see later like this. Uh, yeah, this is the one thing. So you can able to create, this is the without JSX. Okay, react dot create class. Okay, and render function, whatever you have to render, you can return it over and inside the render. Okay, when the I mean when you create a component like same JavaScript, you create object, right, where component equal to new my component of passing the prompts, like this. So if you are using the, I mean, or if you are not using the JSX, means it will be React that create element of that my component. Otherwise, we can utilize like where element equal to my component of. This is the own created component. Okay. So when so for example, when this is passed to your React DOM dot render, whenever like we see the previous example, right? React DOM dot render and pass the element and where we have to push it this particular element. So that will be like you have create your component like this. That way also possible. React down dot render of that my component. So where document dot get element by id of example. That is the you can use it also. Uh, so JSX. JSX is nothing but we are I already talked about JSX a lot of times. Like JSX is a JavaScript syntax, like it will be like XML kind of thing. So in the form of, for example, first example, how to construct your our DOM element in your render method. In your render method, render colon function of return of react dot dom dot a of href like this. It will what happens? It will render a anchor tag with href of Facebook GitHub IO with slash react that URL like this. It will be render like this with JSX, with JSX to render the same anchor tag. You can use like this also. Okay, this is the without JSX. This is with JSX render colon function of like this. A function of or else current ESX we can directly use render of render function parenthesis and open close open parenthesis and return your anchor tag directly. This will generate your JSX with so you can click the, I mean, you can accomplish your event handling and everything like this. So you can bind it your event handling on click of this dot click handler means this will call the click handler function. Okay. So when the event binding is, if you are using here, JSX is, which is act as an interpreter which will make to reference your real DOM node. So here, if you see the, I mean, if you render your HTML page or anything else, you can't see the on click or anything event like this, right? So here, this is a browser native event. Here we are utilizing like this. So that will be we will see later. This is the summary of what is React element, React text, what is this, React node, React fragments. So this is your first programming. So just I'm showing the example with the, I mean this I'm using first example like ES5 syntax. ES5 is nothing but without using your, I mean JavaScript framework is very different. Like you can use the require of like this, where React equal to require of React. In ES6 means if you go with the import React from where React, right? We can use it like this. So here React class and React create class and render and create a h1 tag with the class name of header, and it will be push it under the React component. And React, I have created, I mean using the create component by passing the React whatever the classes which I have created, and those element, right, that will be I have rendered in the React DOM render under the React hyphen application ID. So this is the simplest way to create your application. So okay, later if you see the example, it will be useful. So this is the main thing. First, we have to know how to write a React.js, right? So React.js file mean that will be we need a git bash. Another one is Node.js. We have to install it in your machine and git bash. And another one any editor. It will be I'm using VS Code. I'm using. Okay. First, npm install means it will be install all the packages with the package.json, and npm start is the you start the server. For example, if you have a basically if you want to specific dependency, for example, progress bar, you have a progress bar in npm node package manager means if you want to install in your react means npm install hyphen hyphen save progress. If you not specify the hyphen hyphen save means what happen, it won't will be saved in the package.json. If you want to create under dev dependencies means it will be you have to give a hyphen hyphen save hyphen dev. It will be installed in your machine. Install in your dev dependency in the JSON file. I will show the example so that you can understand. Okay. Okay. Are you able to see my screen, right?
Yes, but it's visible.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just getting from the scratch actually here package the JSON whatever the dependencies. Okay. So here I named it as just a name it as a React lifecycle. So Webpack server, Webpack dev server is the main thing which you have to run your bundle your packages and run it accordingly. Okay. So in order to do this, you need a Webpack dev server and also start means it will if you how to run it in your local or production or anything else based on this you have to mention it inside the scripts. Here these are the dependencies whenever you if you install. I'm just using the git bash npm install means it will be install all the things. Okay, I have already installed in my machine in the particular project. So in the particular project, whatever, if you give a npm install, so whatever I have dev dependency and dependencies, right, that will be installed inside the node modules. I will make a control Z because it will take some time. So I will stop the process. Okay. Okay. Here. Okay. If you want to save it, install. For example, if you want to install npm npm install for example progress bar. Okay, I don't know whether it is available or not. Exact syntax progress bar at version 1.0.2 means we have to give this. Otherwise if you want to latest means if you go with the latest hyphen hyphen save means it will be save under this one. Okay, under this one in the package.json. If you not specify any save means it will be just be installed in your local node modules like here in node modules just install. But if you run any application or anything else it won't work out if you are you utilize the particular packages. So that you every time you have to do like this npm hyphen save, or else if you want to dev dependency dev, it will be installed. Okay, so I have already installed. It will take some time. Okay, if you have good bandwidth it will be installed easily and speedy. Here these are the things. So this is JSON structure format. So like you can utilize author and keywords and those things. So you can specify this. So what is the main file you have to trigger this? Here I'm specifying at app.js. Here we will see what is inside the app.js. Before that, I will show you Webpack. So this is the Webpack. Webpack is nothing but it will bundle your project like this to in order to do this. So here you have to mention it as config and what is the app dot entry point, which is the main file. You have to specify inside the entry and a path name and in output wherever it is index.js, right? So that and all you have to give bundle.js. So whatever necessity, so module load as, so here JSX I have to uh, I mean, exclude the node modules. Without exclude the node modules, that will be use the preset. These are the preset. Why I am using means if you run under the if you run under the 2000, I mean version is different means, I mean, for example, in some browser it won't support the ES5. So in order to do this, you have to use the preset like ES 2015 and so once it is done, module.export config. You have to specify this. Here after JS, before that, this is yeah, that Babel or C is must. In order to do this, I mean, if you using some preset or anything else in, for example, some JSX support is not available. For example, some plugin also you have to install. By you after install, you have to mention it over here by using the preset ES 2015. I am using that right in Babel RC. Without this, it won't work. Okay, Babel RC is must. And another, okay, we will go with the app.js directly here. So whatever I have created, right? So I have mentioned it as a var react require of react, okay, and create a var react dom require and means I mean and just using the package react hyphen dom. So which was I think yeah, see this replacing the 16th version, 16 version. So this is the latest one, okay. I latest 18 I think. So here I have created a class name called create react hyphen class. Okay, I'm using the default property. So I'm passing the default property. So here I'm passing name just return it as a or just create a function and assign the name it as a skipping. So I'm using this name inside the one of the component. So that's why I'm using declare it as a get default property. So you can assign it your default properties. So this is the child component, outer component. Okay. Here I react create class inside the render function return. I create a div element. Inside the div element, I am importing the component one. The component one is which is one. So in the component one, I have created h2 just hello this dot current object dot props. If you want to access the property, this dot props dot name. So I'm just using the name. So it will be written as a h in the heading to hello skippy. It will be written. So that is the component. Okay, and actually this is the main component, the outer component. Okay, here and again component two, one another component called component two. I'm using and pass the property as a food equal to grapes. What happens if you pass it as a food equal to grapes, right? So in order to do access this is the main component. In order to access this, what you have to do means you have to do like this dot props dot food, so that what happened the food will be the food property which you have assigned, right, that will be displayed here. Okay, whatever, even if it is a string or any function or any function you are passing, that whatever the return value that will be rendered here. Okay, here, one main thing is here I'm using default mixin. Mixin is nothing but the just a default property or default, I mean default property, default state. You have assigned it inside the default mixin and you use it in the mixin components. Okay, so you can use it because this dot props dot name is inside the outer function, right? Outer component. It's inside this. So in order to access this, you can use the mixin. Okay, basically this structure is not usable in the industry, so we go with the JSX syntax only. So we will later see then this one. Here, see react dom dot render, that outer component is the component. So where I have to render react dot react hyphen application, which is inside the index.html with the div id react hyphen application. I'm loading the script as index.js. So index.js, it will be created once you run your application. I mean, so whatever the application, that will be changed to like index.js. I think it will be index. See, uh, this. Okay, I will show the example. They will show how to run it. So you have to navigate to the particular path. In the particular path, npm run. So here I'm using the in the package.json. What is the how to run? So this is the start, right? Starting your webpack server. So npm run start. So it will, if it is successfully, then it will be what will show, it will compiled successfully. This is the zip bash, okay. So when you copy this, copy the content, and in your browser, click return, right, the hello, that name, and your favorite fruit reads. This is the one another example. So another example, I think, compressible. So JSX only. JSX I have. I'm searching without JSX examples. Yeah. Just I'm showing the file. So this is the React. I mean, without using the your component. I mean, like require or something like that, right? So this is the ES6 version of file. So import React from your React, import React down, and where React hyphen down. So in order to create a class and your class name and your extent, which where it you have extend React dot, there is component, pure component, container, and those things we have some category. So I'm utilizing the extend the component, or else you can use directly like comma inside this object as a, because it's a component, right? So you can use the component. See, we can replace the component and it extends like this. Extends its component. Okay. So here constructor, the property, without property you can define your state or anything else. In order to do this, you can do this. So state is, you have to, for example, I'm here and just initialize the state data colon 0. So, and here you can, in the constructor, you can bind your function also, and you can utilize when you are click or anything else, you can bind it over there. So here I'm using this dot set new number, this dot set new number dot bind of this. You have to give like this. So set new number, if you call the set new number function, what happen? You have to set the state. This dot set state of that object data colon what data you have to do this dot state data plus one increment. I mean 0 plus 1 means 1 it will be written if you click the set new number. Here see this inside the render function and return with the div to button. This is the with the without JS with the JSX syntax without JSS syntax. This is the one button with ID and on click this dot set new number and passing this dot set data means when you are clicking the counter button what happen it will be whatever the one right that will be incremented automatically. So this under life cycle method which we are using. So later we will see. And yeah, if you want click off means I mean if you want to remove the particular thing means just I am using the this dot remove. This dot remove I return it as a get the particular element app and react down the unmount the component particular node I am passing and remove from the down. Okay. This is the example. I don't know whether it is running or not. I will anyway I will show you. So it's an example that will be easy to understand. So on that, let's see. Mm, let us see the programs life cycle. See the life cycle, right? In the path elements. So okay. I think it will take some time. Okay. I don't know whether it will take some time. I think we may start. Or else we can do it will create right a node modules. Okay, it takes some time. So we go with the continue with the PPT. It takes some time. So we will continue uh, with the slide. So here React component, right? So just I show you the example, right? We can use it with your state and without a state. With a state means you can that is you can change your state or anything else. In order to do this, we go with the with a state, or else without state, that is stateless component we can use. That is we call it as a functional component with a state means the class component we call it as a state component. If you go with that. Otherwise, we usually we go with the normal function component. For example, if you want to stateful and stateless component. So mostly the stateful component is nothing but if you want click or anything else or go with for example based on the user input or anything else we go with that. Any changes happens or anything else we go with the state is changed means then we go with the stateful component. Otherwise we go with the stateless component just to render the data. For example, first example I show you right. Just render the data only. Not I'm not using anything. Just I'm passing the component B with the property like favorite food like grapes. So that it don't have states, right? It have only the property which I have passed and pass it and for the passed property which was displayed in the child component, right? So that is that pattern we call it as a stateless component. Okay. So on another React components, why we go with that reusable component? You can reuse it. So if you done with that, for example, first name or last name and your address, billing information that will be useful. Used in your another page means that will be you can reuse it. You can if you make it as a component or a separate. As we discussed, separation of concern means that you can utilize and build it your own. Okay, that is the main thing. So this is the thing which is the syntax without component. How it will be with a component. With a component means you can create your class and render it accordingly. So what happened? The result of that there is like h1 class with the header component and your this is the auto generated ID. Whatever your node created, that will be auto generated ID. Here, how we can pass your data to particular component means you can use it like this dot props dot like this. I show you the example, right? That is the thing we can use it accordingly. So if you get it through means, for example, here author, right? The command is the component in the main component list. Sorry, command list. So what happened? That author will be displayed here. Okay, this is a component. This the prop children means the children component. This one inside this one it will be inside. Um, Okay, this is the another stateful component. The stateful component you have to initialize your state like we this initialize the property, right? Get default properties like this. Get initialize state is hidden false. This is the example. Is hidden false is is hidden is initiated as a false, and when you are when your state is changed or anything is the state is hidden, return null. Otherwise, it will be create your h1 component header inside the React component node. Okay, the same. The same. So here you can access your, what is the difference between this dot props and this dot statement? The props is read only data. You can't even change it. Once if you are passing from parent or parent means you can access it inside the children. Otherwise it will be immutable. This dot state means it will be store the data particular component private to the particular component. You can change it with the state is updated by using the set state. Okay, by using the set state and passing the data you can use it. Okay, and another thing is this is the composable component which we like this. Here see this is the comment box. Okay, the comment box is the one of the component uh, main thing and render it in the DOM. So what happened? It will be render here like this data hyphen react ID and your text is like this. Okay, hello world. I am a comment box which is a text will be displayed and the div class name. Okay, here another same example. I'm using comment form, and another thing is comment list. So in order to do this, you can do this like inside the comment box. You can utilize comment list and comment form. You can create a separate classes and use it in your main class. This is the composable. So here even handling is it's like normal as usual. You can handle your events. Here we call it as a synthetic event. Synthetic event is nothing but it's a native browser. Like you can use your default enability of event handling, and also you can stop propagation. Bubbling, even bubbling. Those can be handled through this. So here we call it as the one another called auto binding and event delegation. Auto binding is nothing but when you creating a callback in JavaScript. So you what you have to do, you usually do with explicitly bind your method to right. So with the React, every method is automatically binded to the particular component, so that we can call it as a this dot call for example on click of this on click of this button this dot call module one something like that we can do it like that. Even delegation React does not actually attach even handler to the node itself. Okay, so here see this even handler, right? So here like data react id dollar like this only. Okay, if you see look if you see the difference between normal DOM and virtual DOM is there is no enclave property or anything else. That is the difference. Okay. This is the event handling. So those event handling you can copy, paste, or on focus. Normal as usual for mouse events, form events, key events, everything you can use. So these and all main thing, component life cycle. Component life cycle is nothing but if you render, okay, for example, there is one, two, three methods, three phases. Mounting phase, updating phase, unmounting phase. Mounting phase is nothing but you can initiate your state. You can, before mounting, what happens? After mounting, what happens? Mounting is nothing but rendering. What happens? That will be we can do it through this. Did mount or will mount means usually did mount will before rendering. If you want to fetch the API, API call or any server call or anything else, we go with the utilization of component did mount. Otherwise, we go with the will mount or anything else. We will mount usually time setting, set timer, set timer. That will be go with that. Update is nothing but it will be re-render your virtual DOM manually. You can do it manually, like by using the updating phase. Like component will receive pass. Or for example, if you passing the props, I have to do something like this means you can do it. Whether I have to update or anything else we have, usually it will be update is false state. If you want to true it, make it true, we can do it in the should component update. A component will update. After update what happens. Okay. So those and all before update what happens. Will unmount is if you remove this removal phase that will be under the unmounting phase. So this is whatever they explain here that will be clearly explained here. The life cycle is a example, right? Mixins. Mixins is nothing but you have to reuse your code like wherever the components by declaring inside the mixins. Okay. You can replace this by mixins colon that array. Inside the array you can you replace this whatever the names can be, right? So you can replace this. These are the APIs, React component, React class, set state, replace state. You can force update by using the force update. You can set your properties, React children. These are the advanced concept on reminding others. So testing phase you can utilize using the test utilities. So you can, if you run the, if you run with the application, most of the project utilizing the testing in the JavaScript files like any loopholes, anything else we can came across through by testing the React.js by using the test utilities. Here just is using JEST and another one is we can use normal testing is just and those and all we can use to testing your React.js application. You can simulate your event dispatch on click a button. You can simulate your event and whether it is correctly passing the property or not. Render the DOM into or not. We can do it like this. You can test it. It's a simple example. Here see this test details dot render into document. You can dummy component and passing with the properties. So in order to test this application, this is the main React component, but here this one inside the describe and inside the git, whatever the things we can do it inside the git. So basically, I told you right. These are the things we need for the React environment setup. So Node.js, npm, NetBeans IDE you can use, or else WebStorm or VS Code you can use. Most of the industry utilize Visual Studio Code. npm you can use the latest one, not an issue. Developer tools already you have it inside your browser, right? Let me check whether it is running. Okay, now it's running life cycle. So just last one thing. I'll show that. I'll show the life cycle how it will be. Okay. 092. Wait, 092. Okay, okay, it's render, right? When you render, it will be render. So will mount means before render after I mean mount what happened that will be component did mount. Okay, see the order. So if you click the button, see the reflection will update. Okay, after this render and after this did update same thing. If you remove this, it will be removed automatically. And the returns will run. See the ordering like this. So you came to know what is the life cycle. This is the example which I have. I done with that. Okay, thank you. I think it
Um,
will be useful.
yes, Suresh, it is very useful. Thank you for giving awareness about the React.js, which is booming today. Can you tell me the job opportunities, career opportunities in this area, pa?
Yeah, definitely, ma'am. The career opportunities mostly current trending React.js only. So even on-site people also looking for React.js only. Even you can you have a lot of opportunities right across the countries actually for the React.js basically.
Okay, thank you,
And
Suresh.
also Angular also both are similar. I mean they are fighting with each other, Angular people and also uh,
Can
React.js.
we learn self-learning? Is it
Ah,
possible
that
to?
will that will be useful. I will show the example like Facebook. We have a GitHub. It will be self learn only. Facebook. I will show you. So this is the one another. This is the very useful tool. I mean, this is the doc that they have created React JS. Even though we have app in the Google Play Store also. So this is the whatever the I have explained those really how JSX rendering your element life cycle, the example, handling your events, and
Uh,
conditional rendering, how you state your, I mean, child to parent, parent to life cycle, I mean, parent to child relationship, how it will be.
uh,
With the
okay.
example, we have it.
If you
Advanced
have a
also.
basic knowledge on Java, we can
Hmm.
easily learn.
Yeah, yeah. First of all, we need to go through these main concepts. Main thing is, only thing is life cycle, state, property. These and all known means very easy. Here,
Okay,
just to
thank you.
create a normal Java, as usual Java like that class name and your React extend your component and you can create your constructor and even handling and render it.
Thank you, Suresh, for sharing your knowledge and giving a simple view of your React.js. Thank you for acceptance. Thank you, Suresh. Students, if you have any doubts, you can ask. Um,
And main,
the
yeah,
feedback link will be shared in your chat box. Kindly fill up the feedback link. Tomorrow we will be having a webinar on how to prepare for your exams, competitive exams. Our student, 2013 passed out student Hasrat Begum, who is posted now as a sub collector, is going to present the webinar. So it will be a very useful section. Many of the students are aiming for a competitive exam. So please, students, join tomorrow. There will be the webinar will be starting from 5 to 6. Students, please join for this webinar on tomorrow for the day 2 talk of alumni series. Thank you, students. Thank you, Suresh, for sharing your knowledge, and thank you, participants,
Yeah,
for
thank you so
being
much.
with us. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.